My first major story, or my first major inkling that the priesthood might be right for me, was around 8th grade year. In the summer, we come up to North Dakota, and I would always come down to the farm with my cousin, Robert, and we were messing around one day, playing outside, and my godmother came outside and she said, "You two boys should be priests." And that kind of stuck with me for this whole time. She's a very quiet lady, so it meant a lot to me that she would say something like that. About 2 months later, my cousin was killed in a motorcycle accident. And just seeing the faith of the priests and my godmother and her family really strengthened my faith, I think. And it brought me closer to God. I could feel His presence in that church that day. The summer of my freshman year, going into my sophomore year, I went to Cor Christi out at University of Mary with my Uncle Jerry and other good priests. And just over that week, I felt moved. And at that time, I was a little confused. I didn't know what to do. I had fear. And I felt like I had to figure things out. I didn't have time. And I talked to Father Brian Gross about it. And he told me to just keep going. You know, there was no time rush. Take your time and things would be cleared up. Every summer we meet. We had a cousins retreat, just the male cousins in high school. So there was about 10 of us, which is kind of a small number for our family, but we decided to meet with Monsignor Tom out by Belfield at a cabin, and I talked to him about it some, and I tried to just take it slow, and I figured God would reveal it to me if He wanted me to do it. So I got into my senior year, big decisions, you know, and I kind of thought about it, but I was pretty set on going to Eastern Wyoming College in my hometown, just a little community college. I only had a year left, and I would have my associate's degree. Father Austin Vetter was back from Rome, from Pontifical North American College, so he wanted to talk to me one day about the end of June. So I went over to my grandparents' house, and it was just me and him, and we had a good time, just talked, and he talked to me about the priesthood, and I was really thinking about it really towards the end of the summer. The first week of August, I came to the cathedral here, and I had supper with Bishop Kagan and Bishop Zipfel, and then Monsignor Tom and Father Nick Schneider. I had supper with them, and then we went over to the rectory, me and Monsignor, and we just talked about it. And I was really close on entering. I almost signed the papers right then. But I figured at that time, I figured to test out college, and if it wasn't right, then I could always go into the seminary. So I started my first semester of college, and it all went good. And it was always in the back of my head maybe to go into it. About halfway through, maybe it started to change. And it didn't feel like the right environment for me, I guess. And something needed to change. At the end of November, I called Monsignor Tom, and I told him I would sign up. So we got the papers. I told my uncle, and he came in with his 3 little boys who ranged from about 12 to 6 years old. And he told me to tell him what I was doing. And I told him I'm going into the seminary. And he looked at me and he said, "Boys, that's a real man. Now shake his hand."